Long ago, in the high and mist-veiled reaches of the Whispering Mountains, there stood a lonely tower carved into the granite spine of the world. It belonged to Alarion the Grey, the last great sorcerer of a fading age. The tower was silent now, save for the crackling of dying embers and the soft rustle of pages turning in the wind. Alarion lay in his bed, his once vibrant form now frail and withered like parchment left in the sun. His silver beard trailed to the floor, and his eyes, once brighter than the stars, had dimmed. Beside him, on a perch made of ancient oak, sat Mirahi's loyal owl, feathers mottled with silver and dusk. Alarion whispered, "I feel the thread pulling tighter. The weave grows still around me, but there is yet one last thing." With shaking fingers, he reached beneath his blanket and pulled out a scroll, sealed with a crimson runion that pulsed faintly with lingering magic. He tied it to Mira's leg with care. "Find her," he said to the owl. "She is the last flicker of what must come next." Mira hooted softly, spread her wings, and flew into the storm-dark sky.
Kaela, a young woman of 19 summers, worked in the apothecary, crushing herbs and cataloging starroot. Her hair was wild and her fingers stained green, but her eyes carried a spark that the villagers couldn't quite place. She had once been the apprentice of Alarion. She had left the tower in anger years ago, after a bitter argument about the nature of magic and power. She had called him a relic. He had called her unready. Neither had spoken since. So when Mira, the owl, swooped down from the sky and dropped a scroll at her feet, Kaela froze. Her heart thudded. She recognized the seal instantly. Her fingers trembled as she opened the scroll. "Come to the tower. There is still a lesson to learn, and a wish to grant. Alarion." Kaela climbed the mountain path, wind biting at her cloak and rain stinging her cheeks. The journey was steep and treacherous, but she never once turned back. As she walked, memories surfaced. Alarion showing her how to listen to stones, how to speak with fireflies, how to still her breath to hear the song of the moon. When she reached the tower, its door creaked open before her, as if welcoming her home. Inside, time seemed frozen.
The walls were lined with tomes and relics of a long-gone era. In the center of it all, on a bed of moss and silver-threaded linen, lay the sorcerer.
Kaela rushed to his side. His eyes fluttered open, and for a moment she saw the man she had once known proud, mysterious, and kind. "You came," he whispered. "I'm sorry," she said, tears welling in her eyes. "I shouldn't have left the way I did." Alarion smiled faintly. "You had to find your own truth."
"Now, you must finish mine." He pressed the scroll into her hand. "What is it?" she asked. "My last wish."
"It must be buried at the roots of the tree of memory." Kaela frowned. "The tree in the glade of whispers? That's a sacred place. What does the scroll contain?"
Alarion closed his eyes. Not a spell, not a secret, a surrender. With that, his breath left him, like the wind leaving a hollow reed. The magic orb beside his bed dimmed. Mira let out a mournful cry.
Kaela lit a lantern and set out at dawn. Her path led through ancient woods and forgotten ruins, across rivers that shimmered with moonlight even in day. Along the way, she met people who remembered Alarion not as a wielder of great power, but as a man who healed, who protected, who chose peace when war was easier. Each encounter peeled back the layers of her own pride, her own thirst for control. After many days, she arrived at the Tree of Memory. It stood in a clearing hidden deep in the heart of the glade of Whispersits, bark silver and smooth, its leaves whispering softly in languages older than time. Kaela knelt before it. With careful hands, she dug a small hole and placed the sealed scroll into the earth. a hush fell over the grove. Light poured from the tree knot, blinding, but warm, gentle, like the breath of dawn. The leaves shimmered gold and blue. Visions appeared in the air, people healing the land, magic being used to help, to guide, to mend. A single flower bloomed at the base of the tree, its petals glowing with the soft hue of twilight. Kaela bowed her head. The last wish had been granted. Weeks later, in Nereth's Hollow, Kaela stood beneath the open sky, teaching a group of children about herbs, about listening, about balance. She no longer chased power, she carried it gently, like a flame in cupped hands. Magic was changing, the world was changing, and far away, on the wind, came a familiar voices, soft as breeze through leaves. May my last wish be your first step. Kaela looked to the sky, and for the first time in years, she smiled with her whole heart.